every major city in the world is filled with things to skate, whether it be random spots in the streets or multi-million-dollar skate parks. With that in mind, even though essentially all cities are going to have things to skate, there's some cities that really stand out as places that are great for skating. In this video, we're going to go over the best cities in the world for skateboarding. Now, this list was super hard to make, and the cities on this list are by no means the only good skate cities in the world, so if you feel like any good ones were left out, go ahead and leave a comment so other people can see it. Be sure to leave a like on the video, and with that said, let's get right into it. No list of the best skate cities in the world would be complete without mentioning Barcelona. Ever since teams started making trips there in the late 90s, Barcelona has been one of the best places to skate, and every skateboarder should try to go there at some point. The architecture of the city was practically built for skateboarding, and this is purely speculation, but it just might have the most skate spots per square mile out of every city in the world. Barcelona is home to a lot of famous skate spots that have been in videos since the 90s, and you can still skate most of these spots today. Aside from all of the amazing street spots, there's also a few multi-million-dollar skate parks there as well. Barcelona has pretty mild weather throughout the year. It's a relatively affordable place to visit, and there's loads of museums, beaches, restaurants, and other non-skateboarding things to do. In general, there's a good vibe towards skateboarders, and there's spots unlike anywhere else in the world, so Barcelona is without a doubt one of the best cities for skateboarding. Berlin has been one of the fastest growing cities in Germany for decades, so naturally with all of the new construction, it's also one of the best cities for skateboarding. Luckily for skateboarders, a lot of the new construction is made up of expensive marble and tiles, which is absolutely perfect for skateboarding. With that in mind, there's also plenty of crusty street spots too, so you can really skate whatever you want. Berlin is filled with most of the normal types of spots you'd expect a large city to have, but it also has a lot of unique spots that you aren't going to find anywhere else. The skate scene in Berlin is pretty chill and laid back, so if you do go, it shouldn't be too hard to find some locals to help show you around. Los Angeles is easily one of, if not the best city for skateboarding in the world. LA is where modern skateboarding was born, and it's also where most of the skate scene still is today. Most of the major skateboarding companies, events, and pros are all based in and around Los Angeles. It seems like it's every skateboarder's dream to visit LA one day, and there's plenty of good reasons why. Los Angeles is filled with countless skate spots, multi-million-dollar skate parks, and it probably has one of the biggest skate scenes in the world. We could sit here all day and name every famous skate park and skate spot in Los Angeles, but realistically, there's just too many to count. Actually, go ahead and leave a comment on your favorite spot or park, and let's see how many different places people can name. Aside from just skateboarding, there's always things to do in the city, and Southern California in general has amazing weather year-round, so it's pretty easy to see why people love it so much. As the birthplace and home to modern skating, it's not an exaggeration at all to say that LA is one of the best places for skateboarding. Everyone knows that China is one of the fastest growing countries in the world, so it makes sense that as its third largest city, Guangzhou is one of the best places for skateboarding. Sometime after the mid-2000s, skate companies finally started making trips to China, and since then, the entire country has become known as a skateboarding hotspot. Guangzhou in particular is one of the most popular skate cities, and it's home to a lot of well-known skate spots. The entire city is filled with marble plazas, handrails that are absolutely perfect, and a ton of other unique skate spots. Also, this may just be a rumor, but it's generally agreed that spots in China are a lot smaller, so you can get clips skating flawless ledges at a street spot that are better than what a lot of skate parks have. Guangzhou is also close to Hong Kong and a few other major cities, so realistically, it wouldn't be too hard to go to a couple of the surrounding cities on a single trip. Surprisingly, the city is very affordable given its size, so if you're looking to make a trip to one of the best cities for skateboarding, it's definitely worth considering. Next on the list of the best skate cities in the world is San Francisco. The fact that San Francisco is home to Thrasher is by itself enough to justify its spot on the list, but aside from just that, there's a lot of things going for it that make it one of the best places for skateboarding. First and foremost, San Francisco just might be the best city in the world for skating hills. This gives it its own unique style of skate spots that are unlike most of the other cities out there. Having so many hills makes it a great place for filming lines and going fast, and the types of spots that the city has basically spawned its own style of skateboarding. As with most cities out there, San Francisco is also home to not only a few famous skate spots, but also some famous skate parks as well. Considering all of the unique skate spots in San Francisco, along with the history that skateboarding has there, it's for sure one of the best skate cities out there. Melbourne is not only one of the biggest cities in Australia, but it's also one of the best places for skateboarding. Some people may say Sydney or Brisbane is better, but Melbourne has 20 skate parks within a 10-mile radius, which is kind of hard to beat. As one of Australia's biggest cities, naturally, Melbourne also has one of the biggest skate scenes. Melbourne is also a go-to city for skate teams on tour, and it even has a few iconic spots that end up in a lot of full-length videos. There's an abundance of street spots, there's more than enough skate parks, and the weather is great year-round, which makes it a pretty solid place for a skate trip. New York City is one of the go-to places for East Coast skateboarding, and it should be on every skateboarder's list of cities to visit. New York is essentially a concrete jungle filled with never-ending skate spots and dozens of million-dollar skate parks. Honestly, you could probably live in New York your entire life and still only manage to skate a fraction of the spots there. I mean, seriously, the city is 500 square miles and has 9 million people. There's only a handful of cities in the world that can compare to that. There's basically an unlimited amount of things to skate, and the city is always changing, so there's a constant variety of spots popping up. It has everything from beautiful parks that are perfect for skating to dirty, crusty spots that are probably older than you are. New York City has a rich skate history, an absolutely massive skate scene, plenty of different things to skate, and even $1 slices of pizza, so it's for sure one of the best cities for skateboarding. If you can get past the bad weather, London is actually one of the best places for skating. Sure, it's rainy and cold for a lot of the year, but during the spring and summer months, it's usually really nice, and it's great for a skate trip. London has a long history with skateboarding, and people have been making skate trips there for decades. It even has what's claimed to be the oldest skate park in Europe, which was made back in 1978, and was recently the first skate park to be given the status of a heritage site. Other than 50-year-old skate parks, there's also a ton of modern skate parks and well-known skate spots spread throughout the city, and most of them are pretty easy to find. Not all of the skate spots in London are going to be skater friendly, but a lot of them are in public areas like parks, so getting kicked out isn't as bad as other cities. Also, if you do find yourself getting kicked out, you can always head to South Bank, which is basically the go-to skate spot in London. Paris has been a melting pot of writers, artists, and other creatives for centuries, and considering how creative skateboarding is, it makes sense that Paris is one of the best places for skating. The architects who built a lot of the now famous skate spots in Paris probably couldn't have made them any better for skateboarding if they tried, and the city essentially has its own unique style of skate spots. This has led a lot of skaters from Paris, and even France in general, to come up with a new style of skating that you aren't really seeing anywhere else right now. There's a handful of plazas and parks that are really well known in Paris, but it's also one of those cities where you can easily cruise around and find new stuff to skate. Basically, every city nowadays has several multi-million-dollar skate parks, unique street spots that you won't find anywhere else, and of course, a thriving skate scene. It's really hard to say what the best skate cities in the world are because there's just so many great cities out there. So if you feel like any good ones were left out, go ahead and leave a comment so other people can see it. Also, if you want to see another video like this, let me know in the comments because there's definitely plenty of other cities worth mentioning. Be sure to leave a like on the video, and with that said, thanks for watching.